Good morning everyone. Welcome to Strive IAS. So today we are going to discuss about 14th June daily newspaper analysis. Okay, my voice is audible everyone. Please confirm once. So everyone please confirm whether my voice is audible or not. 1 second, let me check. Everyone, once again good morning to all of you. So my voice is audible. ठीक है चलिए. So dear student, once again very good morning to all of you. So dear student, to get this infographics edition of the PDF, you simply have to scan this QR code to download our application, and in this application you will find a section named Infographics Edition. Within that you will find the newspaper, and you can also scan this QR code to join our Telegram, where you will get all the courses PDF and detail, current affair, everything we post there, so you can access to all this PDF. So first we are going to discuss about the black box recover from the roof of the hostel. Modi visit the site. So PM hold review with the it's actually AAIB, that is Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau. Start formal probe. Ahmedabad police register a case of death. ठीक है. तो 6 body handed over to the relative. DNA profiling to identify remaining victim underway, says the police. So the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau recover the black box from the wreckage of the Air India flight Ahmedabad. So it is your responsibility to study about the AAIB, like under which ministry, which law regulate, what are the role and responsibility, where is the headquarter, you have to read everything. Okay, so it is your responsibility. So this is your homework. Once again I am just explaining you. So dear student, I will give you 5 to 6 tasks daily. So it is your task to do homework. After completion of this newspaper, do homework, and I'll also give you 5 to 6 question in the newspaper analysis itself. If you practice daily, it is my promise, 20 to 30 marks extra marks in prelims 2026 you'll get. ठीक है. So prelims is not going to be our headache if you follow daily basis whatever I am giving. ठीक है. I have followed that and I have cleared all my prelims. ठीक है. So you'll also clear. So Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau has already launched formal investigation into the accident, while Ahmedabad police also start file an FIR so that investigation can be started. Then officials of the National Investigation Agency and other central agencies also start their probe to find any terror incident or anything. If anything even involved, then we can find very fast. Okay. So next is DNA profiling is underway to ascertain the identity of other edge bodies are charred beyond the recognition. It will take 72 hours to complete the exercise of matching the DNA sample. So dear student, it is your homework. Study about DNA profiling. Here you have to study how DNA profiling is done, what are the process of DNA profiling, how DNA are collected, how they are separated, what is how different stages involved, then what are the benefits of DNA profiling, what are the application of DNA profiling, whether DNA profiling is allowed in criminal investigation or not. And recently there is a Criminal Identification Act recently passed by the government in 2024, Criminal Identification Act that is passed by Government of India, whether it is allowed or not DNA profiling. So you have to study all these things. This is your homework. Okay. So next is Assam government gives suit a site order. Dhubri town blames the Bangladeshi group for unrest. So recently there is a unrest recently going on in Assam. Why this has happened? Because during the celebration of the Eid-ul Zaha, so that this is what called Bakrid. So a cow, the meat of beef is found inside the temple complex. So after that the situation became so explosive that it's quite violent. So that the Assam government given suit on site order so that anyone dare to do any sort of things, they can be shut down. So you can see, according to the 2011 census, mostly Bengali speaker account 74% of the district located in the 290 km of the Guwahati. It is talking about Dhubri. So Dhubri is about 74 population of the district are Muslim. So ठीक है. I think apart from that not much important, so we need to move to the next. So recently Israel strike on Iran nuclear sites, military leaders, the Israel conduct a air raid on the nuclear site, military leader and the scientist of nuclear program to kill. They killed lot of military leaders and scientists, and Tehran retaliate with missiles. Iran also retaliate with missile. ठीक है. So Israel launched blistering attack on the heart of the Iran nuclear and military structure on Friday, deploying Warplane drones smuggled into the country, targets the key facility, kill top generals and scientists, barrage. It said that necessary before its adversary get closer to building atomic weapons. So recently Iran is building nuclear weapon, and it is the stated policy of Iran is that the moment Iran is going to have the nuclear weapon, it will destroy the Israel existence. So that is the reason Israel is always conduct preemptive strike to prevent the Iran from occupying any sort of nuclear weapons. ठीक है. Iran quickly retaliated, sending swarms drone at Israel. ठीक है. So Israel military said that about 200 aircrafts involved in the targets of 100 targets. They are basically targeting the nuclear installation and military and these nuclear scientists. Okay. Iran has been censured by the UN atomic watchdog, okay, on Thursday, not complying with the obligation meant to prevent it from developing nuclear weapon. Israel had told Trump administration that USA that large scale attack were coming. Officials both country on condition of anonymity. ठीक है. So dear student, you have to study about IAEA, detail about IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency. So what are the objective of IAEA, when it is established, whether it is part of the UNA or not. So tell me in the comment box whether it is part of the UNA or not. And there is a agreement that is called JCPOA, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. This is signed between P5, permanent member of the UN, plus one, that is German with Iran, that prevent Iran from acquiring the nuclear weapon, while Iran is given the right of peaceful use of nuclear energy for power generation, medical application. So you have to study about all these things I have mentioned. So you just spend some time in Google, not each topic hardly 15 minutes, not more than that. Okay. Then next is Modi convey India stance on the peace to Israel. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi called of early restoration of the peace and convey the Indian position in a phone call to the Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. So fresh conflict may impact oil supply to the India. Yes, you know that 80% of our oil we simply import from the West Asia. So you can see here, I am going to show you. देखो, here it is Gulf of Hormuz. In Gulf of Hormuz, around 20% of our oil is traveling. So any sort of disturbances, here it is Iran. So any sort of disturbances that is going to impact the Persian Gulf. Any sort of disturbances also going to impact the Gulf of Aden and Red Sea. So here our 80% of oil is coming to India. So that is definitely going to impact. So Israel attack on the Iran pose significant risk to India in terms of curtailing supply of oil, and 40 to 50% extra cost according to trade exports. So if there is a full scale war, that is going to cost a lot. Okay. So next important news is grim wait for kin as DNA samples hold hope for identifying the loved ones. Okay. So recently after after this accident, approximately 251 people died out of 252 people. So one people miraculously escaped from that the accident, but now the family members, they wait to confirm their loved one, death of their loved one. So next, dear student, those who are writing mains in 2025, you can join our answer writing program. So these are very flexible. You can write 4 questions per day or a full length in a week, or you can also write 2 tests in a 14 days. These are completely flexible, and you will get quality evaluation by selected UPSC selected candidates and interview appear candidates, like at a very nominal fees. No need to pay high amount of money to get that. Okay. So next, those who are preparing 2026, you can join our daily answer writing program. It is also quite flexible. So you'll get 2 questions daily, or you can write 10 questions in a week, or 14 or full length test in a 14 days. So it is completely flexible. You can write question of your choice or question from our sources. So it is up to you. So next is a row over the vandalism in Tagore's ancestral house in Bangladesh. So recently there is a the Rabindranath Tagore house is destroyed in the Bangladesh. So because of that, there is a protest in the The political row has erupted in West Bengal over the reported vandalism and ancestral house in Rabindranath Tagore located in Bangladesh. The West Bank Chief Minister so returned to the Prime Minister take up the matter very strongly with the neighboring country government so that no stone left unturned to swiftly bring justice to the perpetrator of this heinous mindless act. Okay, we know that Rabindranath Tagore was the Nobel Prize winner. So because of that, observing that the Rabindranath Tagore is renowned not only in the West Bengal but also across the globe. So Banerjee wrote that that was damaged not merely building but towering fountain of creativity in the subcontinent. Yes, we need to respect people like a statue like Rabindranath Tagore at any cost. So those who involve such act, we need to take very strict action. And dear student, to help you in your current affair preparation, we are preparing a daily current affair. I only 4 to 6 pages. So here we are linking all the current affair to the possible questions. So they can ask either in prelims and mains. So you can simply refer to that. You'll get very high quality. You'll get very high quality. At very high quality, so that you can ensure your preparation. Okay? So next is responding to the plea for safe screening of Thug Life. So recently there is a movie that is being prepared by the Kamal Hassan, but there is a opposition in the Karnataka on the screening. But when a movie is passed by Central Board of Film Certificate, so but there is no point people can oppose to that. Okay. So the Supreme Court on Friday sought the state of Karnataka to respond the petition seeking ensure that safe and unimpeded screening of Kamal Hassan movie Thug Life. Okay? So to take action against the element who have issued threat and incite violent against the theatre and maker of the film. Actually, Karnataka, they believe that some section of the people in Karnataka, they believe that this movie is against their sentiment. So they are saying anyone or any theatre that is going to screen this movie in Karnataka will damage that theatre. But when there is a body called Central Board of Film Certificate passed as movie and without any objection, so what is the point of people cannot say that just because some section of emotion is sentiment is hard, we cannot stop the screening of any movie. That is what said by the Supreme Court. So take action against element who have issued threat and incite violence against the theatre and maker of the film. So Central Bureau of Film Certificate cleared the Tamil feature film was not allowed to screen in the theatre in the Karnataka. This so-called ban under the threat of violence stem from any lawful process but also deliberate campaign to terror, incite explicit threat of action against the movie hall, incitement of large-scale violence targeting linguistic minority. So this is this is very disturbing trend. People are nowadays anything they found, they hurt their sentiment, they simply threat to the cinema or theatre owner to not to screen any movie. So which is goes against the principle of rule of law. Okay. Kerala Sikh amnesty scheme for declaring wildlife trophy. So there are so many people who are having let's say animal part like tusker or deer horn, so all with them. But these are their ancestral properties. So Kerala government want the central government to give one time relaxation so that those who have such property, they can declare to the forest officials that these are under our possession. Else they will face, after that they will face the crime, because under Wildlife Protection Act you cannot have the you can say tusk or the skin or skin of the tiger or anything in your home. But before, if you have anything, then you have to declare to the wildlife warden. Okay? So Kerala would approach the center to provide another chance for people to declare wild animal article and trophy in their custody. Okay? So Section 40 of Wildlife Protection Act amended that every person having the control, custody or possession of animal articles, trophy or captive animals specified in the Schedule 1 shall declare to the Chief Wildlife Warden or authorized officer within 30 days from commencement of the act. Okay? If anyone is having anything, then that person have to declare that IAS, these are the articles I am having in my possession. So the power to provide the amnesty vests with the Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. The state board may request center to take suitable action on matter and genuineness of the cases. Okay. Okay, dear students. So it is your homework to study about Wildlife Protection Act. So detail about Wildlife Protection Act and its all the schedules, what the animal that is on schedule 1, animal on the schedule 2. Okay. So recent amendment made to the Wildlife Protection Act, it modify the number of schedule and how the schedule are function, like schedule 1 is having higher protection or lower protection, schedule 2 is containing what, schedule 3 contain what, schedule 4 contain what. So you have to study in detail. Okay. So next important article, center cannot cite DM Act changes to deny loan waiver. This is what said by Kerala High Court. So what happened, just let me tell you the context. So we have passed a act called Disaster Management Act. कब हमने पास किए थे? It is passed in 2005. According to this act, there is a section called 13. So in case of any disaster, severe disaster that impact the people, so in that case, if let's say X is taken a loan, so in that case the government can waive that loan, or you can say provide some compensations to that loan, so that can be delay or completely waived off. But recently there is an amendment to that act and center removed this article. That means in case of severe disaster, there is no such, you can say, relaxations to these those who have taken the loan. The center cannot take a stance that it is unable to issue directive to the waive or right of the loan of person affected by disaster of severe magnitude like Wayanad landslide, citing a section that has been removed from the Disaster Management Act, said by the Kerala High Court. So this was first time the center cite the section 13 of the DM Act that has been removed earlier this year. Under this section, center could recommend the relief regarding loan repayment to the person affected by disaster severe magnitude. In the course of hearing, suo motu taken by the High Court following the massive landslide hit Wayanad, so said that Article 73 of the Constitution define that extent of union executive power to rely on such situations. Okay? So that means Kerala High Court says that though the act has been changed, you cannot deny that relief given to the those who are affected by the severe disaster. So tourists enjoying scenic landscape around the Nandi Hills. So just map in the location where Nandi Hill is located. Okay, so it is in Karnataka. Infrastructure at Nandi Hill has received significant facelift recently. Okay. Next is effort on to tow the one high away from the coast. So the Indian Navy on Friday used seeking helicopter to insert 3 salvo on the board Singapore flagged container ship Hanhai 503, which has been on the fire since 9. Okay? So we are putting anchor, so then we are trying to move them away from our the coast, so that in case of any damage, any disaster, so that is not going to affect our coast. So this is what the main aim is. This salvo establish the tow line between the burning ship and the tug. Tug means if it is a big ship, there are tugboat. Tugboat are basically they pull the big ship so that they can travel in a definite direction. Tugboat are very powerful boats, just like the train engine, tugboat like that. So while fire was largely brought under control, it continued to drift, means because of wind, so it can flow any direction. And approximately 30 nautical miles from the Kerala coast. The communication from the Director General of Shipping said that fire on board contain, currently we have contained all the fire, primarily located in the midship section and generating dense chemical fume. Fume means there is a you can say smoke. Although much of the cargo has been consumed by the fire, making the vessel lighter, this reduction in the weight increase the risk of rapid drift. When boat is without any load, so there is a high chances that it can easily float and comes to the coast. So this is what it is saying. So what shallow water, so particularly under the high wind condition. So the third tug was expected to reach the site in Kochi Friday night with aim to tow the ship away from the coast into deeper water. So our aim is to make this ship away from the coast of India, so that it will not going to affect our India. So risk zone क्या है? The foam and dry chemicals powder stock were replenished and prepositioned immediately at the sea and onshore, while the presence of drift so that temporary movement, so it can move to the because of wind, it can move to the Kochi, so it can affect our coastal region also. Okay, so next let's move to the last page. Why Israel attack Iran nuclear facility? So I have already told you. So there is a stated objective of Iran is that the moment will acquire the nuclear weapon, will remove, or we can remove the Israel from the map of the world. So Israel believe that preventing the Iran from acquiring nuclear weapon is the best strategy to prevent any such threat in future. Okay, So Israel carried out several clandestine attack inside the Iran, including 2020 assassination. Okay, so father of Iranian nuclear program. It also took war directly to the 2014 by bombing Iranian embassy in Damascus. So there is a past history of Israel conducting large number of military attacks, or you can say raid within the Iran. Okay, so all the while Israel argued that Iran nuclear program and ballistic missile program were existential threat to Israel. Israel carried out massive attack in Iran, targeting country nuclear facility, ballistic missile sites, and resident of its top general and more than 2 dozen nuclear scientists. So you have to remember that the Israel attack, which lasted for our heaviest military blow to the Islamic Republic since revolution. So rolling back the axis, so there is a called a power of axis, Iran based military, Iran based militant, or you can say terrorist group or militant, Iran based militant like Hezbollah, they are active around Hamas, they are active around the Israel. But now after the, you can say after the 7th October 7, 2023 attack by the Hamas, Israel launched mini regional war against the Hamas in Gaza, against Hezbollah in Lebanon, aimed at weakening the region of Bashar al-Assad in Syria. Hamas were forced to reinvent itself as an insurgency, and Hezbollah militant infrastructure has been degraded. So after this, taking the hostage of Israel, people of Israel, citizen of Israel, Israel launched a sweeping attack to destroy all the proxies of Iran in the neighborhood of the Israel. Also the Assad in the Syria was critical link between Hezbollah and Tehran. With Assad gone, the Syria president, the Assad was actually helping Iran and the terrorists like Hezbollah in the Syria. But after Assad down and Hezbollah is weakened, so the Iran is not much active in this region. That is what saying. With Assad gone and military weakening, much of fear of axis of resistance, which has been Iran's forward defense since the earlier 90s, has been hollowed out ever since Israel was drastically step up the planned attack on the Iran. So 2024, following the Iranian ballistic missile attack, Israel carried out an hour-long operation inside the Iran, reportedly taking out many missile defense system. So in past year there is an attack also, so Israel damaged all the missile defense system. The strike left Iran nuclear facility vulnerable for future attacks. So if Israel mini regional war weakened, so deterrence. Okay, so Israel saw this holistic opportunity. They wanted to act before Iran building domestic and regional capability, that will wanted a green light from the Washington. So recently there is a talk that is going on between Donald Trump and the Iran regarding the signing of a deal, but Iran is quite defiant. So after that, Donald Trump given the permission and Israel conduct the raid. Okay. So Israel attacks at the Natan. So dear student, you have to map that. You have to map this location, Natan. So they can ask about in UPSC, leaving out the Fardo and Isfahan. So you have to map this location also. You have to map these 3 location also. Okay. Yes, I think these are the few important point. Beyond that, not much important, so you can ignore that. Iran says that Israel attacks, declaration of war, vow severe punishment. So the supreme leader of Iran says that Israel will face a bitter and painful fate. He swiftly appointed new commander to replace those killed. So Trump warned Tehran even more brutal attack if it does not make swift deal with the nuclear program. Okay. So I think these are the map given, so you can just go through it. So attacks are carried out in the location. Okay, so it is also very important you know that Iran is having border with Persian Gulf, is also having border with Caspian Sea. So you can see how, like Iraq, Syria, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Jordan. Okay, so here it is Gaza. This is what called Gaza. Yes, this is called Gaza Strip. This is called Gaza Strip. Sorry, this is called Gaza Strip, and this is called West Bank, and this is called Lebanon. So you have to map all this location, because they are asking multiple questions from there. So Europe leader call of de-escalation and diplomacy as Iran conflict flare off, because this region is a very key region for oil supply. So any disruption is going to cause harm to the world economy also. So here it is your homework to study about IAEA. Already I have given this task today also, so please study about IAEA. And you can see one more thing. German has an unique relationship with Israel, which stem from the Germans' responsibility for Holocaust. And you know that during the time of Hitler simply killed the the Israel. So because of that there is a very good relationship, because of this past negative thing. So there is a very good relationship between the Germans and Israel in the present time. Okay, though past is not good, but past can be a good cementing force for the present good relationship. And dear student, you can scan this QR code to join our Telegram, and you can directly talk to me in our Saturday and Sunday podcast. Okay, so next IREL told to stop rare earth sale to the Japan, focus on the local needs. Okay, so India has asked state-run miner IREL to suspend 13-year-old agreement of rare earth export to the Japan and safeguard supply for domestic need. Two sources familiar with the said that recently what happened, China recently blocked supply of rare earth minerals to all over the world, and because of that our textile industry suffer a lot. So to ensure that there should be sufficient stock of the rare earth mineral in India itself, so government has taken this step. We should not export these minerals to the Japan. So IREL also want to develop India's capability for rare earth processing, which is dominated globally by the China and became a weapon in escalating trade war. China has curbed its rare earth material export, the pressing automaker and high-tech manufacturing world. So that pressurizing the automaker and high-tech maker of world. So our Ministry of Consumer Affairs, so Piyush Goyal, to stop export rare earth, neodymium. So neodymium. So stop export of neodymium. So you have to remember that, and it is used for magnet making in electric motors. ठीक है, जो EV हम बनाते हैं, the EV we manufacture, there is a motor that need magnet, and that magnet can be manufactured by using neodymium. So ठीक है, so Commerce Ministry said that IREL and the Department of Atomic Energy, which oversee the IREL. ठीक है. So next is under how we are supplying this rare earth minerals to the Japan. So under 2012 government agreement, IREL supply rare earth to the Japanese company. ठीक है. So because why we are supplying, because we don't have capability to process that. So IREL has been exporting rare earth due to lack of domestic processing capability, but following the recent disruptions to the China, because China stopped supplying all this rare earth minerals. So it want to keep its rare earth at home and expand domestic mining and processing capability. So this is what is a step towards self-reliance in the rare earth minerals. So dear student, those who are preparing for OPSC, you can join our test series. So we are giving very nominal fees, because I know there are so many students who cannot afford huge amount of money, and you will get around 3000 question, 5-year PYQ, CSAT, everything at a very nominal fees, and our question quality are very high, because all our those who prepare question, they are either UPSC interview written or selected candidate, or UPSC interview written, interview appeared, or selected candidates. So the USA fund worry on investing India as tariff wars is set to end. Recently Donald Trump, after coming into power, threatened all country to impose sweeping tariffs. So there are investors who are concerned that if they invest in India and not able to export to the USA, so because of that there is a declining in the investment in India. So market tumble 1% on geopolitical tension. So recently geopolitical tension like Israel attack Iran, and Israel counter attack with missiles. So because of that there is a belief that it might increase the prices of crude oil. So crude oil means there is a direct translation of inflation. So when there is a inflation, that reduces the purchasing power of the people. When there is a reduction in the purchasing power, people will not buy anything. That means there will be low demand for the market. So because of that people are simply withdrawing, selling their share in the market. Okay, and buying gold, because it is generally believed that during the conflicting situation the gold is actually you can save assets. So Israel Iran conflict may impact oil supply to the India, spike export cost. So global oil price jumped 8% in a single day, sparking fear that sustained escalation could push inflation in India, so which import about 80% of its oil requirement. That means India is importing about 80% of its oil, and you can say 50% of its gas. So please note down. So you can write in your mains whenever you have to talk about like that. And sorting of the Suez Canal and Red Sea would cost India export dearer, means heavy. ठीक है. So Israel attack on Iran and heightened tension in the area pose significant risk to the India in terms of curtailing supplies of oil and 40 to 50% of increasing export cost according to analysts. Global oil price jumped to 8% in a single day, sparking fear that sustained escalation could push inflation, and which India import 80% of its oil. So India import over 80% of crude oil need. Hence, if direct import from Iran are minimal, so global price spike due to conflict will rise oil import cost. Around 20% of the global oil passes through the Gulf of Hormuz. So dear student, please comment in the comment box. The Gulf of Hormuz connect which two seas, which is located between Iran and north and Arabian Peninsula south. So any disruption around the Strait of Hormuz may affect oil shipment from Iraq, Saudi and UAE, key supplier of India. So disruption in area could significantly hurt Indian export as well. ठीक है. So escalation in Middle East like Suez Canal, Red Sea, that is going to problem for India. In case of severe war, so we have to move through the we are going around Cape of Good Hope. That will add 15 to 20 days per ship, and it will increase the cost per container. So making our 40 to 50% increase in the cost. So when I have already told you, whenever there is any sort of conflict, people generally sell all their assets and invest in the gold. Gold price to surge to 1 lakh per 10 gram following the attacks. In time of conflict uncertainty, gold remain go to the hedge for both institutional and retail investor, because they believe that gold is a safe assets. Okay. So dear student, these are very good points. You just simply note them out, and whatever I am giving the task, please do that. And dear student, you can scan this QR code to join our application, and you can scan QR code, join our Telegram. Here I am giving daily targets on a daily basis target. You can watch that, okay, and fulfill that target, so to make your preparation more uniform. Okay, just a second. So next is court imposed cost of 1 lakh for JPSC over rejection of the candidate. So this is a very good thing. The accountability, transparency should be applicable to everyone, not only to the students. So recently Jharkhand High Court Friday imposed a cost of 1 lakh on the State Public Service Commission for dismissing a candidate on the merely ground that the payment has not been received. So you can see what kind of flimsy ground they are giving, instead of supporting to the student. So because of that, the High Court imposed a fine of 1 lakh. I think it should be imposed 1 crore for harassing student. In a first, the center sanctioned 300 Forest Right Act cell to facilitate implementation of Forest Right Act across 18 states. So in a first, since Forest Right Act passed come into being in 2006, the Union government has started funding structural mechanism to facilitate implementation of the law, means to give forest right to the scheduled tribe and traditional forest dwellers. So dear student, it is your homework. Study about FRA 2005. So detail about FRA, like what are the community property, what is the individual property, and like how for 3 generation the property those who are staying, they have been given, and 3 generation or 75 year, what are the largest area, that largest you can say size of the property that can be hold within the forest area. So you have to study all these things, because these are very important. Time and again they ask. And what are the right that is given under the Right to Forest Act. So recently government launched Dharti Aba Janjatiya Gram Utkarsh Abhiyan. So it's a very, you can say, umbrella scheme. It is an umbrella scheme, just like the umbrella, it cover all the scheme that is related to tribal under the single schemes. Okay. So central government scheme of Union Ministry of Tribal Affairs. So for sanction setting 324 district level FRA Forest Right Act cell across the 18 state and union territory implementing the Forest Right Act. So government established Forest Right Act cell across the 18 state in UT to implementation of the Forest Right Act. Okay. So the scheduled tribe and other traditional forest dweller, जिसको हम बोलते हैं Forest Right Act, this law mandates the state government to set off structure for processing of forest right claim, which include Gram Sabha, ठीक है, Forest Right Committee, sub divisional level committee and district level committee, state level committee. So you can see here, it's a very good thing. So given, I'm just highlighting, keeping in box. So it is saying that they have to establish committee at the Gram Panchayat level, sub-divisional level. Okay? So what are the concern that is being shown by the activists? So Forest Right Act cell being set off through the DAJ, that is Janjati Abba. Here this scheme Janjati Abba, sorry, Dharti Abba Janjati Gram Utkarsh Yojana. So program forest right activist expert have raised concern of being parallel FRA mechanism outside the purview of FRA. So देखो already there is a mechanism called Forest Right Act. So now you are creating one more cell, it is called Forest Right Act cell. But Forest Right Act it give power to the local people, but Forest Right Act cell it is giving more power to the bureaucracy. That means it is against a democratic norm. So DAJ Goa set launch in October 2024, bring together 25 intervention and 17 line ministry for targeted implementation over 68,000 tribal dominated village. So dear student, it is your homework, study about DAJ GUA D. So you have to study about detail, it is already covered well. I think just Google it, you will find. The operational guideline for DAJ GUA mandate that FRA cell to be help quick disposal of the pending claim, especially one that has been held off even after district level committee approval. So report suggested that only 14.45% of claim across the state pending. ठीक है, I think these are the important point that can be asked or you need to remember for your examination. ठीक है, and dear student, those who are preparing for UPSC want a mentorship, a guided preparation, so you can join our Dronacharya year-long mentorship program. Here you will get all interview of your faculty who have vast range of experience to guide you in your journey. So you can scan this QR code to check out the program, and in case any doubt you can reach out to our team. So Subhanshu Shukla, action missions to the International Space Station postponed again because of there is internal fault. It is again postponed. So this mission has been postponed for a long time. So ensure safety of the Kashmir student in Iran. This is what said by the Chief Minister of Umar Abdullah. So next, dear student, those who are attempting for Prelims 2026, so you can have real life experience of examination, Prelims examination, how it is conducting with a time limit, what are the level of question. By scanning this QR code, you can simply practice this state so that you will have acquainted before real examination. So next is India abstain from United Nations General Assembly resolution for Gaza ceasefire. So recently it is seen that India is shifting its posture in favor of Israel. So you can see in Indian position on the Israel is shifting in favor of Israel, because Gaza, if you look into India Palestine relationship, we are in favor of two-state solution. That means we want two states should be established. One is Israel, another is Palestine, and there should be peaceful coexistence, and there should be all the settlement, all the disputes should be settled through the peaceful means. And India always against the terrorist activity, and because recently Hamas, they have carried out all this terrorist activity, so that is the reason I think India abstain from United Nations General Assembly. ठीक है. So next important issue is Modi talk to Israel PM, call for early restoration of the peace. Yes, definitely you can say the violence is not in our interest. New Delhi said that it is deeply concerned about evolving situation in West Asia. Minister of External Affairs asked Israel, Iran to engage in dialogue. Embassy urged India to stay vigilant and avoid unnecessary travel. So 16 long-haul Air India flight diverted as Iranian spacecraft airspace shut. So after Israel carrying out the air attack within the Iran, so Iran shut their airspace. So when any country is shut their airspace, so no aircraft is allowed. So because of that, the Air India flight have to take a long diversion, so that no untoward incident can happen. So this is a very tragic incident happened yesterday. So there is a flight that is crashed in the Ahmedabad. Because of that, 241 passengers are died because of this. So it's a very unfortunate incident. So Air India aircraft carrying 242 passenger and crew member crashed into medical college just moment after takeoff. So this is the 878 Dreamliner burst into flame, killing 241 person. Only one person escaped miraculously. Okay, so no doubt it's a severe accident, but we have to investigate how can both engine of such a massive plane fail at once. Who cleared this aircraft for takeoff? It was clearly a death trap. This is what said by one of the family member of those who had died. So definitely it's a very sad incident. We have to investigate to find the real reason. We should not, there might be some untoward incident. If we not conduct any sort of study and proper investigation, then same thing is going to happen repeatedly. So we have to prevent that. Okay. So next it is talking about crash and burn. Same thing, Indian aviation sector need to address the safety needs. Yes, definitely we need to address the safety needs. So expert have suggested the reason for such issue may be plane load. So it may be having heavy load. So if you put heavy load on the plane, so it might not take off properly, na? Then ambient air temperature. So if there is an ambient air temperature is very high, so because of air is quite light, when air is quite light, so it is not going to give you sufficient lift for aircraft to rise. So next is engine performances and wing surface setting or even bird hit. These can be possible reason. Okay? So Indian Civil Aviation Regulatory Body, Director General of Civil Aviation, with a formal investigating that include international participation having been initiated to keeping the aviation protocol. The complexity is first time 787 crash analysis could throw off light. Definitely whatever maybe the investigation come out will ensure proper incorporation of this safety standard to prevent any such incident in the future. At the 81 International Air Transport Association annual general meeting in World Air Transport Summit in Delhi last week, India has recognized to be a largest aviation market. So India is going to be a largest aviation market. So at any cost we need to prevent such kind of incident. However, its rapid expanding aviation sector needs to be address challenges including safety and ground in air. Okay. So this article is talking about a rogue nation. It is talking about how Israel is behaving. So after recently we have seen that after this hostage crisis in the Hamas, so Israel is constantly bombing in the Gaza Strip and killing more than 60,000 people, and on the Lebanon also carrying out airstrike. Recently it is also carrying out airstrike in Iran. So because of that the Middle East, or you can say West Asia, is in crisis. So there talks needs to be give a chance rather than the military might. So you cannot find solutions to all this problem through the military. At the end we have to use the negotiation path. But it is also talking about, no doubt, the concern of Israel is very real, because it is the stated policy of Iran is that the moment Iran is going to have nuclear power, it will destroy the Israel from the earth. So for their survival they are conducting the attacks. But if conflict spill over to the Gulf water and kingdom, it will be catastrophic for global economy, especially for India, whose millions of citizens work there. Because if the conflicting shifting to the, let's say, UAE and Saudi Arabia, so in that case a large number of Indian migrant working there. So that create a separate migrant crisis for India also. Okay. Yes, dear student, it is talking about rot start at the top of the aviation ladder. So we need to it is talking about there are so many things, so many problem with our regulatory safety at the the air you can say aviation sector. So it is talking about we need to take a lot of steps. I have highlighted it, just can read it, you will find it. Okay. So next is not much important article, but still you can read it if you want. Okay. So it is talking about normal Israel and Iran conflict. So how it is going on historically, if possible you can go through it, you'll find lot of things, but not much important for examinations. Okay, dear student, we'll have to end our discussion here. So dear student, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to the channel. And I'm just starting for 2 to 3 days, so there might be some problem with me, and it will take some time for me to acquainted with this electronic things. So gradually, definitely, don't worry, I'll bring high quality video. So till then, please let me know if any kind of problem, any kind of improvement, any suggestion that you have is always welcome, so that according to your suggestion I can make good video. Okay, dear student, take care, bye bye, have a good day. Again we'll meet tomorrow. Till then, bye bye.